Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and you'll never guess. You'll never guess. We have most likely, although it could end up not being, hopefully we'll see, some more bad news in Hearthstone. At least if you're not enjoying the awesome current standard meta that have pro players asking for change, having casuals asking for change. Nobody seems to be happy right now, whether it's constructed, whether it's, waiting for twist or the arena, although I'm having some fun in the arena, although we hit a new milestone today. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, we have potential news that is in this Battlegrounds blog. I promise we're not going to talk about the Battlegrounds update, but there's information within this that is, kind of concerning for me. So we'll talk about that. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like as we are on the road to, I don't know, more subs or something. I don't know. I appreciate your support. Regardless, they posted this blog yesterday, season 11 of Battlegrounds, which has the cool backdrop and all that. And there's new mechanics. I'll link this down below if you want to take a look. But overall, we're not talking about any of that stuff and how they arguably made this Tavern Pass even worse by taking away legendary skins and putting epic ones in there. I'll let the BG's people talk about that if they want to. But we got a timeline of things coming up. And that's where I'm like, oh no, where we're going to get patch notes on August 1st. So mark your calendar. We'll have a patch notes video on that day, and the patch launch for Battlegrounds on August 5th, which is a couple weeks away. And why this is bad news is that we rarely ever get balance changes with a content drop, with any major content drop. Sometimes you'll get like one or two rare kind of like emergency changes, which we need a heck of a lot more than that right now, in my opinion. But yeah, that means we are looking at like 3 weeks potentially for that next balance patch, which to me is brutal, absolutely brutal. We had people on Twitter like Pocket Train tweeting out getting OTK'd on turn 4 by Agamagan Warlock or Dorian Warlock, whatever you want to call it, while they're also playing 0-mana Giant Cycle Rogue, which is even better since it got nerfed. It's even better. To me, neither deck is good for the game. They're both, just ultimate scam decks, and they're both the best decks, at least at High Legend. And yeah, we have people like that. We've got people like Regis making videos talking about Hearthstone, Kibler on a break, Rarin being on the front page of Reddit talking about whatever the issue is, whether it's fatigue, attrition, or just the game and the executives being stupid. It's just not great, right? We look at the front page of H's Replay, you'd actually think the meta's in a good spot. Front page, we got almost half the classes in the green. The worst class is Shaman, but not that far behind. That's not that bad. But if you look at what decks are actually playable, that's where a lot of people like myself just don't want to play the game right now. It's super unfun, where the best decks out there are either scam decks like Buff Hunter, which can cheat out like a billion stats super early, or Dummy Warrior, which cheats out mechs, or Cycle Rogue, which cheats out giants, Agamagan Warlock, which cheats out, the Agamagans and all that other stuff, Bandage Priest, which OTKs, and so on and so forth. The only other decks that are seeing play are aggro decks that wouldn't normally be that good. They're kind of like, they look like pretty crappy decks, but they're the only decks currently fast enough to try and compete with these scam decks. So even though I get these really asinine comments I read of like, wow, you guys are complaining it's a high power level format when Aggro Paladin's doing well with garbage cards. The reason is because you can't play normal defensive strategies that would beat an aggro deck because you get destroyed by the scams. Like, the scam decks are at a higher level than we've arguably ever seen in Hearthstone, where you're getting, again, insane stats super early. So the only decks that could possibly compete with that are these cheap aggro decks, and that's it, right? The only other thing that kind of pops up is like Space DK. Actually have early AoE that can deal with the big scams, and they can gain an absorbent or super amount of health to beat the aggro decks, and that's about it. Everything else, pretty much unviable. So I hear this, oh, the power level's not that high because aggro paladin isn't that good. No, it's because it's one of the only things that can get under these scam decks, and it still doesn't really do that much, because you go to High Legend, it already starts falling off to all the scam decks like Buff Hunter, like Cycle Rogue, like all this crap. So to me, I'm not playing much Hearthstone because my decisions don't really matter when we're cheating out 1 billion stats and all the new cards, all the quest decks are at the bottom. I am a fan of this expansion. I'm going to say that. I'm sick of people dunking on the set because it's not working. I think if this set was actually, let's just say these cards saw play, I think Hearthstone would be in a lot healthier spot. I think it would be a lot more enjoyable. The issue I have is it's trying to exist in a world where you're cheating out 0 mana giants super early, and if that continues to happen, there is no point in more honest Hearthstone decks because they're not allowed to exist. And I'm hoping, even though we're not going to apparently get a balance patch anytime soon, we are looking at past August 5th, so like August, what, 12th? 14th is what we're looking at. I'm hoping they surprise us and just literally nuke every single scam deck. I don't care about the aggro decks. The aggro decks, they're fighting for board. They're counterable by more control strategies. We need to let control strategies actually be a thing outside of starship decks, basically. And then it would help, you know, you have the control beating up on the aggro, and then you have these quest decks that can maybe beat up on the control decks because they have a lot of value and all that other stuff going on. But right now, it's scam or aggro them down, or I guess play one of the only controlling strategies that at best is a 50% win rate. Like, it's really not that amazing. So I'm really struggling to find fun in Hearthstone. Pro players are finding it hard to have fun in Hearthstone. I see it a lot of my comments, even in my video yesterday about the Wild Quest Priest deck, which I will say I had more fun playing Wild than Standard, which I haven't said that in forever. It's more broken. I even, like, my first game I recorded in my gameplay video, I got turn 4 OTK'd by Paladin. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. Holy Wrath should be changed. But if I'm not facing that, I feel like I can, like, kind of do things where there's actually control options more so in a Wild. But regardless of that, that's what led to Theo making this video. Quit Standard. The Zeddy situation is crazy. If you want more in-depth detail over why I'm not really playing Standard, check out that video. You know, drop Theo a sub, help him get to like 4K subs or whatever. He covers it very well. He knows me well. He knows what's frustrating. It's frustrating him too. Every Standard streamer I see is struggling. And yeah, the fact we might have to wait even longer is brutal. But I will say the arena, if you can somehow afford to play it, the issue is it's 300 gold and it's really hard to afford to play it. I still recommend it. I have a good time, even though the power level is really stupid. But if you look at all the green, like you could play almost every class in arena right now and win. Like pretty much every class you could pick. And I haven't seen that in forever. But yeah, every class is stupid and ridiculous. So like the agency's pretty low, but I'm consistently, you know, getting 7 to 12 wins here or there. But what I'm consistently doing, and I tweeted this out, the update on the crowd's favor situation, I have now hit 57 runs where I got 6 wins or more, including we went 12 wins. And yes, that's my reaction. If it's blue, you don't get the crowd's favor. If it's orange, you got it. And I, again, did not get it, and it's kind of driving me insane. Where yeah, I think Arena is one of the better modes in the game right now. It's just, it's monetization, and I guess the curated level of it is a little stupid, but that's what I'm dealing with, right? That's what I'm dealing with, trying to make things work, and it makes me really distressed to see August 5th, the patch that almost never has any balance updates. I really hope that won't be the case, but it likely will be. So yeah, if you're not enjoying Standard, which I feel like the majority of people are not enjoying Standard, we might be in for a bit of a wait. And I'm hoping that Blizzard listens to and sees that a lot of people are really unhappy and goes against the norm, and we do get more of that emergency kind of balance patch when it comes to 33.2. There have been calls to like ban Dorian, but to me, if we ban Dorian, then we just get Cycle Rogue at High Legend, and it's just the same crap. I want a good, real patch that nukes these decks that either get 0 mana giants out by turns 4 and 5, that cheat out infinite stats by turns 4 and 5, or OTKs you by turns 4 through 7. All that stuff. It's time to nuke it and let the board matter in Hearthstone again. Let us play the game. That's what I'd like. I would like to play Hearthstone, and right now it's a bit of a struggle, but I will keep at it. I ain't quitting. I ain't giving up. I will try to get some Standard gameplay on the YouTube channel this weekend. I'm looking at Elemental Mage. It's an aggro deck, but it might actually be half decent, so stay tuned for that. And we'll also have a video going over, we haven't done this yet for this set, the worst card so far, and that should be quite the doozy, considering how this expansion has been landing. so far. Anyways, let me know what you think about all this. Should we get a balance patch sooner than later? Should we nuke everything? Should we buff everything? Curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.